Welcome back to the channel, Bridging the Gap, student to engineer, where STEM professionals provide advice to students. The video today is a school deep dive into the University of Delaware. Like most of our videos, this was a request and a recent request. So if you have any other schools that you'd like us to look at or topics you'd like us to cover, please leave a comment in the video and we will put you on the list for sure. All right, let's get into University of Delaware's data. University of Delaware has a really nice website that is dynamic and which allows us to go through and look at details that we wouldn't be able to see if it was PDF. So let's just take a look at what they're providing. So this is a website with a dynamic dashboard on the bottom. I've already sorted for 2024, but you can see that the years 22 and 23 are available. 24 is the most recent. And then I've also sorted for bachelor's in the College of Engineering. But let's just look at the College of Engineering as a whole. So 92 or 92% of College of Engineering grads are employed or pursuing further education. So that's these two top bars. Seeking employment is 7%, and then 1% seeking continuing education. The 92% positive student outcome rate for the College of Engineering overall is good. I want to point out, though, that that is an average. And when you look at the various majors, you can see a pretty stark difference. So I'm going to just start with on the top. So biomedical engineering has essentially 14% of their students are still looking. So an 86% positive outcome rate. That is definitely lower than the average, not super great. Once schools get under 90% for a major, I'm questioning whether or not I should recommend them. So something to watch out for in biomedical. But if we just, okay, so we look at chemical, that changes. So 5% are still seeking. But then when we get to some majors like civil, we're looking at 100% positive student outcome rate. These are the majors where there are not as many students going into them as the industry needs. So civil, construction, engineering, and management are closely aligned typically. Both of those are very strong. Electrical also is extremely strong. For a large public university to have any majors where there is 100% placement rate is pretty impressive. Typically, we see these numbers even at the really good schools being in the high 90s, but not at 100%. So the number of grads are pretty small, and that may be indicating that you get a lot of personalized service. But there are a lot of majors within the engineering school at University of Delaware where it's just everyone's getting a job, and you don't really have to worry about what's going to happen after you graduate. So if we go back to biomedical, like we said, now I'm going to go to one of the computer science. They have Bachelor of Arts and Bachelor of Science. But if we look at either one of these, the seeking employment numbers are significantly higher. Interesting thing is that while both of the computer science majors have lower positive outcome rates, the closely related information systems and also computer engineering are much better. So something to consider if you've got a student interested in computer science and or currently in it, that some of the allied majors may produce much better results when they're done. Another one that is not looking great is material science and engineering. Now, also, you know, these numbers are very small, so we're talking about 21% not having employment when they're looking. That is still a small number of students, but still the percent is really not what we're looking for when we're looking for good majors to look into. So we're being complete and looking through all the majors. I'll show you mechanical engineering. Similar to chemical, it is mid-90s% for positive student outcomes. Interestingly, it looks like the number of grads in mechanical versus other majors at University of Delaware is significant. This is pretty common in a lot of engineering schools, is mechanicals dominate. Typically like 30% of the total, not so high like this. But anyway, anywhere you go, if you're majoring in mechanical, you'll be a mechanical like everyone else. That doesn't mean that you shouldn't do it, or you should. It's an indication that there's a lot of need in the industry for mechanicals, and that mechanicals are able to go into lots of different industries. Right, so for each of the majors and for the school overall, they provide percent of students who are employed that are working for-profit, nonprofit, education, and government. I did not see any of the engineering majors in the K-12 education. The various majors significantly change at the percent of government. For example, environmental engineering is in the 20s, while some other majors are at or near zero. So something to be aware of as you're moving forward if you're looking at different majors, that they could get you different places for type of employment. Right, so overall for the entire College of Engineering, the median salary is $75,000. That is pretty good. It is not as high as we've seen at some other schools, but it is a good number. For each of the majors and then the school overall, they talk about top employers. So we've got the Navy, lots of technical people going into the Navy. Deloitte and JP Morgan Chase are both financial services companies. So as we've seen in a number of other schools that report this kind of information, these financial services companies are hiring more engineers. Also, these numbers are higher when the engineering schools have things like computer science and computer engineering in them. Lockheed Martin is defense and space, and if you look at the different majors, so I'm just going to pick civil, for example, these employers all change. So if you do know what major you're looking at, please come in here and click around and see what you can find out that's a little bit more interesting for you. All right, so top jobs, field engineer, project engineer, engineer. Those are all good things to see on the top job titles because this is engineering school, engineering majors, and we want to see that students are graduating and getting engineering jobs. All right, then if we look at employment by location, so this is just for the class of 25, like what we've looked at here. University of Delaware grads are going pretty much all over the US, which is really nice to see. And while there is a chunk of them that are staying in Delaware, Delaware is a very small state. They are going to a lot of states in the region. But as we see in a lot of schools, California and Texas make the top states list for destinations. Typically for engineering, we see a lot of Texas, a lot of California, and a lot of Washington. These are in the immediate area with University of Delaware. San Francisco Bay is the only one. Saudi Arabia is most likely students from there who have returned home, but working in the Middle East can also be a really good opportunity for students who are looking for an adventure. A lot of companies in the Middle East will bring Americans and Brits over to do work, and you'll find that there are a lot of growth opportunities if you are looking at the Middle East or considering moving there, at least temporarily. Companies will typically have you over there for a certain number of years and then send you back to the US. So as you can see, the University of Delaware does provide some good information. It's going to be more helpful if you go into the website and look at the various majors, particularly if you know what major you or your student would like to focus on in school. And like a lot of schools, we're seeing pretty significant differences between the majors as far as positive student outcome rates. I would just say that from what I'm seeing in a lot of schools, civil engineering is highly sought after. Nuclear is also, I know Delaware does not offer that, but there are some areas where fewer students are going into them than we need to have go into them. So the student outcome rates at these schools is important to look at and to understand what the industry needs and what students are interested in. So if you have any questions about that, please leave a comment in the video and we will get back to you.